There are some executives you see and you're just like, there's something there. There are other executives that you watch with a very close eye. And then there are the executives that you study intently. Welcome to Executive Study. My name is Darren Greenfield, and I study leaders and brands and then make them better. Well, today I want to cover 1 minute and 42 seconds. That is 102 seconds of a video that is shorter than a TikTok, shorter than a commercial break, shorter than it takes time for most leaders to clear their throat before they say anything useful. But inside this 1 minute and 42 seconds of the Reid show that he does with his two co-hosts, you get 3 full lessons in leadership, back to back to back. See, here's what happens. In my point of view, I see a co-host fumbling on camera, and Ray feels it. And instead of taking the ball away, he throws her an alley-oop 3 times in a row. Think about how rare that is. Most executives can't deliver 3 teachable moments in a 90-minute keynote, let alone 102 seconds of unscripted live tape. There are MBA case studies that can't take an entire semester to teach what Ray demonstrates between commercial breaks. By the end, you'll see why I think Ray Daniels is the best coach that Gen Z or Gen Alpha could find in the music business right now, and why most leaders would have handled the same exact 1 minute and 42 seconds the wrong way. Let's talk a little bit about why the industry needs Ray right now. You see, I believe we've lost a step in the music industry. If you study the decades past, you realize that the business became what it was, not only because of the talent, but also because of the executives. I'm not saying that the talent wasn't worth anything. The talent was worth everything. But with talent alone, you only get a music culture. You don't get a music business. You see, the music business is what happens when the culture of music is presented in a manner that the art becomes profitable. The artist becomes sustainable, and the audience is satisfied not only with the quality of music that they're getting, but with the journey of what it means to love an artist and their work. And in this 1 minute and 42 seconds, I see that Ray Daniels loves the culture so much that he's teaching Gen Z and Gen Alpha how to do the business. How? By lending them the gravitas of his brand, his reputation, and his years of journeying through wins and losses, and by reminding them that there are 2 sides of the game. You can love music, but you better know how to do the business. You see, I think Ray has a very unique business identity in the industry. 2 weeks ago, I was teaching an entrepreneurship class on how to make your business identity make sense to the world. And I used Ray Daniels as an example. His business identity to me is the asshole who cares. You see, Ray Daniels is Dame Dash, Steve Stoute, and L.A. Reid all mixed into one. He's Dame because he understands the dopeness of the culture that he loves, and he's not going to let anybody rob us of it. He's Steve Stoute because he understands the market and the relationships that exist within the market, which means he's always going to be able to get a check. He bets on himself in a tension-filled relationship with the music system, but I don't believe he values or sees it as wise to be in an all-out war with it. And then finally, he's L.A. Reid because he strongly believes that there should be gatekeepers, people who control taste-making, artist development, and brand shaping. This 1 minute and 42 seconds of tape with his 2 young co-hosts will show you why. If you're trying to get into the entertainment industry as an artist or an executive, you want to study Ray.
Where we going, T-Mac?
So, Lil Wayne was he in his feelings a little bit? I think so.
Read a tweet.
Yeah, what? He sent me the
Pull
tweet.
that tweet up.
You did. I think he is in his feelings a little bit. It's okay.
Because of the Coachella.
Yeah, so you sent this to me. Who you sent it to me at? My text messages?
Yeah, check your text.
There we go. All right, so Twitter. X. Is it still called Twitter? Okay. X. Okay. So yes, he was in his feelings. Now, I guess my question is like, is it even really a question? Like, he's not really forthcoming when it comes to the culture, you know? So, like, he doesn't put himself out there like that. I don't see him, like, how active is Wayne musically right now? We might get a tape or an album.
We letting you talk. Keep talking.
But I'm just really curious. Like, is this valid right now for him to be in his feelings the way that he is about this? I feel like they should put respect on him because he's contributed, musically so much to the culture. But
so, if you study, watch, or just intentionally observe leaders, you can tell that there's a good chance in that clip that Ray was either frustrated or seriously fuming about this situation. I'm looking at actions like the smiles that he has, the grabbing the pen and the pad, the looking away, the shifting in his chair. He genuinely understood that his young co-host was missing it at this moment. And not just missing it, she was missing what she shouldn't be missing, because either they prepared for this as a team, or at minimum, she as a talent should have prepared for it on her own. Ray gives T-Mac 3 informal lessons in this clip. If we pay attention, this will help us understand our own responsibilities as teammates and contributors much better. Let's look at alley-oop number 1. When he says, read the tweet.
Lil Wayne was he in his feelings a little bit? I think so.
Read a tweet.
Yeah, what? He sent me the
Pull
tweet.
that tweet up.
You did. I think he is in his feelings a little bit. It's okay.
Because of the Coachella.
Yeah, so you sent this to me. Who you sent it to me at? My text messages?
Yeah, check your text.
There we go. All right, so
when Ray tells T-Mac to read the tweet, he's redirecting her back into the gear and the traction of her role on the team. He's reminding her that there is a systemic way to set up these conversations that they have on screen. He's reminding her that we don't set up conversations from memory or perspective. We set them up from factual events that allow us to dive into our perspective. He's reminding her that her job is to get the others on the podcast to their spots so they can shoot. Then, in the transitions and the questioning, she'll get her chance to shoot. You see, when I'm looking at this video, I don't believe her lapse was about a lack of talent or a lack of interest in the subject. I believe her lapse came from a common problem. She may not have been in the gym preparing and practicing or doing the homework that she needed to do to make sure she was situated for this moment. Where do we study Ray at as a leader in here? Well, instead of taking over the moment, even though his brand and his following are on the line, he does what most leaders won't do. He directs her back to her spot and lives with the pain of an on-air mistake. You see, research on creative teams, this work by Amy Edmondson on psychological safety, consistently shows that leaders who allow controlled mistakes build stronger teams and stronger brands than leaders who jump in and rescue every situation. Audience attention studies are equally clear that live blunders disrupt the listener's flow state and pull them into an attention distraction cycle that can break their desire to lock in. I'm sure that Ray knows this, and he absorbs this cost on purpose because the long-term development of his co-host is worth more than the polish of one episode. Let's look at alley-oop number 2. It's called X.
all right, so Twitter. X. Is it still called Twitter? Okay. X. Okay.
Alley-oop number 2 comes when Ray reminds her that Twitter is now called X. He's guiding her out of the discomfort, but he doesn't allow her to move away from the expectation. Ray could have said to her, Twitter X, I still get it mixed up too. Let's just move on. But instead, he tells her the proper name, not because he's pressed about her getting it right, but because he's setting the culture around here that we don't get it wrong. We call things what they are, and we do things the way we have a culture of doing them. Alley-oop number 3. We're letting you talk. Keep coming. Get it out.
I guess my question is like, is it even really a question? Like, he's not really forthcoming when it comes to the culture, you know? So, like, he doesn't put himself out there like that. I don't see him, like, how active is Wayne musically right now? We might get a tape or an album.
We letting you talk. Keep talking.
But
The final alley-oop that Ray throws to his young co-host is when he tells her, we're letting you talk, keep coming. It seems like due to a lack of preparation, or it could be the discomfort of the spotlight and the recovery from dropping the ball, that his young co-host T-Mac starts the exchange by saying, I don't have a question. But there's a problem there. It's her job to have a question. Ray, instead of once again taking it from her, makes her sit in the saddle until she asks the proper question. You know, this made me laugh because this is the equivalent of having a black mama or a black daddy who won't let you get up from that kitchen table until you get the math problem right. This is a great example of how to build young leaders under your tutelage. So now, since we finished talking about the 3 alley-oops, I want to go to the next point of Ray's leadership that I think will happen based upon my study of him as a leader, and that's the backstage conversation. If Ray Daniels is the leader that my study predicts he is, he had a follow-up conversation with T-Mac that wasn't only about what he thought of in the moment. He either made her watch game tape, meaning rewatch the episode to see where she could get better, or he asked her questions like these. How do you think the episode went today? What do you think you did well? And where do you think you can improve? What is your understanding of how much weight our show carries when you are at your best? What are you dedicating yourself to in study and preparation before our next shoot that will help you deliver better? Those questions just don't correct people when they're wrong. They coach people to get better. They build a self-aware contributor instead of a dependent one. That's the difference between a boss and a leader. And it's why Ray's young talent will eventually outgrow what he taught them and still credit him for the foundation. Well, that's it for today's study. Thank you for tuning in to Executive Study. We hope you enjoyed this, and we hope this makes you improve your game as an artist, as a leader, as whoever you are in whatever field you are following. We'll catch you on the next episode.